Is the Toronto Blue Jays' rumored push to re-sign Chris Bassitt nothing more than a gutless concession to mediocrity, a cowardly retreat into steady familiarity that locks us into another season of reliable but unremarkable pitching, dooming our World Series dreams by prioritizing budget band-aids over the bold ace acquisitions that could actually push this core over the hump and deliver the ring we've been chasing for decades? That's the scorching hot take dominating MLB debates right now, with analysts like Keith Law from The Athletic blasting it as a classic Jays complacency move. Bassitt's a fine mid-rotation arm with his 3.96 ERA, but bringing him back on a multi-year deal screams a front office too scared to swing big after the World Series gut punch. This is how teams like the Twins waste talent windows, settling for affordable stability instead of chasing elite firepower, and Toronto will regret tying up millions in a declining vet while Bo Bichette's extension balloons in our rotation remains a weak link. Welcome back to Blue Jays Nation, your unfiltered furnace for the raw, unsparing truth in pinstripes and maple leaf fire. I'm your host, channeling the fiery outrage this rumor ignites. Today, November 14th, 2025, we're torching the buzz about targeting Chris Bassitt as our accessible rotation fix amid Bo Bichette's looming mega extension, dismantling why the so-called smart, responsible reunion is a trap that overvalues intangibles like his team-first attitude, squanders our limited payroll flexibility, and distracts from the aggressive splashes we need to finally finish what we started after last season's agonizing World Series exit, where our starters averaged just 5.1 innings per game, and our offense couldn't overcome the Dodgers' depth. This isn't about bashing a hardworking pro like Bassitt. It's about brutal honesty. Re-signing a 36-year-old with fastball that's dipped to 92 miles per hour and a career-high 4.16 ERA in 2024 is like putting a fresh coat of paint on a rusted engine, a move that signals a front office content with contention rather than committed to domination, especially when our $245 million payroll is already strained and rivals like the Yankees are loading up on true aces. Let's dive in, expose the flaws in this logical plan, and project why killing this reunion is crucial to salvaging our championship window. Because in Jays Nation, we romanticize enough steady forces that fizzle in October. It's time to demand excellence that electrifies, not more reliable mediocrity that leaves us one pitch short again. Let's set the stage with a rumor that's dropped like a curveball in the dirt just an hour ago, because while it's being framed as the prudent path to solidify our rotation without breaking the bank, the underlying truth is it's a glaring symptom of conservative thinking that's holding the Jays back from true greatness. The intel from Nick Ziegler's piece highlights how our offseason hinges on extending Bo Bichette, the 27-year-old all-star shortstop who slashed .298 with 25 homers last year despite nagging injuries, and whose projected $200 million-plus deal over 8 to 10 years will eat up 10 to 15% of our payroll, forcing careful spending elsewhere, with Shane Bieber opting into his $13.5 million player option after a solid return from Tommy John, 3.82 ERA in 12 starts. The rotation looks stable on paper. Kevin Gausman at the top with his 3.83 ERA, Alek Manoah rebounding to a 3.56 mark post-surgery, and Jose Berrios as the workhorse, 3.38 ERA over 192 innings. Enter Bassitt, the 36-year-old free agent who spent 2023-24 with us before opting out, touted as an affordable target to fill the back end with his 11-9 record, 3.96 ERA, and 170 innings last season. The pitch is that he's a steady force who doesn't need to be a frontline ace, providing durability and leadership. Remember, he volunteered for bullpen duty in the playoffs, eating multi-inning relief stints with a 2.45 ERA in October to help our taxed arms. It's positioned as a tactically intelligent move that allows us to allocate big bucks to Bichette while maintaining rotation depth, emphasizing his team-first mentality as the intangible glue for a group that ranked 12th in starter ERA at 3.98 but faltered in the World Series with 5.12 mark, unable to contain Ohtani and company. Analysts argue it's financially savvy. Bassitt could return on a 2-year, $30 to $40 million deal, far cheaper than chasing free agents like Max Fried, $150 million projection, or trading assets for controllable arms like Dylan Cease. But here's where the hot take hits, like a 100 miles per hour fastball to the ribs. This is complacent settling, a boring reunion that ignores Bassitt's declining peripherals and locks us into mid-tier production when our window demands elite upgrades to overcome the Dodgers' blueprint of depth and dominance. Law's critique nails it. Bassitt's 3.96 ER looks fine, but his FIP ballooned to 4.52 last year with a career-low 7.8 K/9. He's a contact pitcher in the power era, and re-signing him means admitting your rotation is good enough, which is not after getting exposed in the series. Jays need a swing for Corbin Burns, not the safe snooze. And he's spot on. We built a 93-win team with this core, but the playoff revealed cracks. Our starters allowed 4.8 runs per game in October, and Bassitt's own postseason, for .76 ERA in relief, showed he's not the shutdown force for high-stakes moments, more an innings-eater than a difference-maker. Building on that, the second pillar of the scorching critique is that Bassitt's affordable tag is a mirage in the context of Bichette's massive extension, as tying up even $15 to $20 million annually in a declining vet drains resources from the high-upside arms we need, highlighting how this move prioritizes short-term stability over the transformative talent that could elevate our rotation from solid to unstoppable. With Bichette's deal projected at $25 million AAV or more, comparable to Francisco Linder's $341 million packed, our payroll could balloon to $280 million by 2027, leaving little room for errors. Bassitt's value seems logical at first glance. He threw 170 innings last year, top 30 among starters, limited hard contact with 38.2% ground ball rate, and his sinker-slider combo induced weak hits, .248 opponent average. But peel back the layers and red flags emerge. His velocity dropped 1.2 miles per hour to 92.4 on his fastball, leading to a spike in home runs allowed, 1.3 per 9, up from 1.0 career. And his 3.5 BB/9 shows command wobbles that get exploited in the AL East against lineups like the Yankees, who hit .278 against righties last year. Compare that to true targets like Burns, 2.92 ERA, 8.9 K/9 last year with Baltimore, or even a trade for Garrett Crochet, 3.58 ERA, 12.9 K/9 with the White Sox. Those guys add 4 to 5 WAR and strikeout punch to neutralize stars like Judge, while Bassitt projected 2.5 to 3 WAR is replacement level for his price. The controversy erupts on Talk in Baseball, where hosts blast, "This is Atkins playing small ball Bassitt's team-first bullpen shift was noble, but it masked his 4.52 FIP. Extending Bichette means you can't afford mid-rotation filler when your farm ranks 18th and prospects like Tiedemann, 3.12 ERA in minors, need spots to develop. It's a valid roast. We've allocated inefficiently before, like the $63 million on UCI Kikuchi, who posted a 4.75 ERA before we traded him, and repeating that with Bassitt risks cap strain that forces dumping assets like Jordan Romano are closer with a 2.90 ERA, but injury history. To balance books, weakening our pen that blew 28 saves last year. The hottest takes on Reddit are unanimous. Bassitt's reunion is admitting you're not serious contenders. His 3.96 ERA hit a .268 bob of luck. Spent on Fried to finish what we started, not recycle a 36-year-old whose best days are behind him. It's damning. Succeeding with Bassitt might get us 90 wins, but it won't win rings. Our World Series loss came from rotation fatigue, not lack of stability. And he's not the arm to change that, cementing the case against his folly. The third argument is that Bassitt's vaunted intangibles like his willingness to shift to the bullpen are overhyped excuses for settling, masking how his profile as a steady force actually perpetuates our rotation's lack of ceiling and fails to address the high-octane needs of a championship-caliber staff in an era where strikeouts and velocity win titles. Sure, his playoff flexibility was clutch. He logged 7.1 innings in relief with 8 strikeouts and just 2 earned runs, but that team-first mentality doesn't erase his regular season inconsistencies, like a 4.85 ERA in August/September when fatigue set in, or his vulnerability to lefties, .265 opponent average. In a league where aces like Garrett Cole average 10+ K/9, Bassitt's 7.8 mark is pedestrian, relying on command over stuff, which crumbles against playoff lineups. He allowed 1.5 HR/9 in high leverage spots last year. The article praises him as a perfect back-end piece for a rotation with Gausman and Manoah, but that's settling for adequacy when our series exposed a lack of swing and miss. Our starters ranked 20th in K/9 at 8.2. The hot take from Baseball Prospectus is blistering. Bassitt's not a force. His ground ball rate dropped to 38% last year, and re-signing him means your rotation peaks at good, not great. Jays need velocity like Blake Snell's 11.2 K/9 to match the Dodgers, not a vet whose ego-free shifts are code for not good enough to start. Comparison sting. The Braves won in 2021 with mid-tier depth like Charlie Morton, 3.34 ERA, but they pair it with Max Fried's A-stuff. We'd be all depth, no peak. The controversy on Effectively Wild boils down to false economy. Bassitt's affordability lets you pay Bichette, but it caps your upside. Trade for Logan Gilbert's controllable years instead of this boring retread. It's a damning critique. His sacrifice is admirable, but in a win-now window with Guerrero at his peak, .323 average, 30 HR, we need arms that dominate, not just endure. Projecting forward, if the Blue Jays cave to this Bassitt reunion and ink him as our accessible fix, it could perpetuate our cycle of close but no cigar seasons, locking in mid-rotation reliability that wilts in October, while Bichette's extension strains the budget, potentially dropping our World Series odds from 15% to 11% per Fangraphs if injuries hit, and our lack of strikeout punch leaves us exposed to power lineups, leaving us regretting the safe play as rivals surge ahead. Models from Zips project Bassitt at 3.80 ERA and 2.8 WAR next year, adding 2 to 3 wins at best, but that's negligible for $15 to $20 million AV. Inefficient when you factor in his age, 36 decline risk, velocity down 2 miles per hour since 2022, forcing over-reliance on prospects and skimping on bullpen depth after our 4.22 relief ERA ranked 20th. The implication is dire. Stagnation in Vladdy's prime, with another playoff exit blamed on rotation mediocrity, as fans lament Atkins' conservatism. Instead, pivot to ambition. Extend Bichette for $200 million. Trade assets for Crochet's upside, and sign a high-K arm like Jack Flaherty to electrify the staff. This rumor's hottest condemnation is its timid settling. Quash it to unleash our championship potential. In incinerating this Chris Bassitt reunion rumor, we revealed it as a complacent distraction that risks our ceiling without elevating our floor, reaffirming that true contention demands bold upgrades, not boring reliability. But that's my blistering take. Bassitt's a bust. Is this a smart reunion or a total whiff? Ignite the comments with your takes below. Smash like if this fired you up, and subscribe for more scorching Blue Jays breakdowns. Let's fan the flames.